Hello, all, and welcome to Astro Wheel of Fortune. My name is Vlada, and I read tarot. And today I'm doing a reading on what blessings are developing behind the scenes that you can't really see coming, and maybe potentially other things that can be developing behind the scenes that you're not maybe noticing, you're not noting in your immediate environment. So we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna be live shuffling the tarot, but I have some of the oracle cards already shuffled. If you want to take some time and think about what could your angels or your spirit guides or whatever you want to connect to, your higher self, what can they show you that you are maybe not seeing? What is it that you need to hear right now? What good thing is actually on its way, and it's a lot closer than you might think it is, but you're just not really seeing it in your immediate environment. So maybe if you want to take some time, you can pause the video and you can meditate over the cards. We've got pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, pile 4, and pile 5. You can decide which card or pile you want to pick, and we're going to get started. So I'm going to get started with pile number 1. Pile number 1, let's see what is the behind the scenes blessing or situation that is playing out. I actually realized I say situation a lot in my readings. We've got Saturn, we've got 11th house, we've got Alchemist, and we've also got the Eagle Spirit. Spirit has your back. And I'm going to be shuffling some tarot as well. I think I'm going to shuffle some tarot straight off the bat. I'm kind of seeing something here already. I keep getting blurred boundaries. You're working on your blurred boundaries with other people, and it's doing a world of good. I feel like this group could be going through a bit of a turbulent time. You could be feeling like there's a lot of turbulations happening, and a lot of things are unsure. A lot of things are kind of foggy for you right now. That's what I'm getting here. I feel like currently you are feeling quite stuck. You don't really know where to move, and that is kind of indicated here to me with the Moon card and the Chariot being in reverse and the Two of Wands being in reversed. It kind of feels like there's too much going on. You almost feel like too much is on your plate right now. There's too many things, and not that I kind of feel like, you know what, when you have a lot of things in front of you, but you can't necessarily name everything. You can't necessarily, if someone went to you, hey, like, what's going on with you? You could say, hey, I think there's just too much on my plate. I feel exhausted. I feel overwhelmed. And if they asked you to elaborate on it, you might even struggle to elaborate what exactly it is that's too much. And it's not because there isn't anything on your plate, and there is a lot on your plate right now, but it's kind of more so because you are currently processing a lot on a subconscious level. That's what I'm getting. I feel like a lot of things are falling away right now behind the scenes, and that is like the biggest blessing. Even though you're maybe not realizing, for some of you, maybe you lost a lot of friendship connections or connections in general. Maybe you are changing the type of people that you hang out with. You could be changing the kind of groups of people that you resonate with, and it's been very hard. I feel like it's been really hard because a lot of elements have been falling away from your life. And it doesn't feel like a blessing. It doesn't feel like a good thing that's coming in. It feels confusing and it feels frustrating. I'm feeling a lot of frustration with this pile. And I think your guides really want you to know that you are an alchemist in this situation. And the things that are falling away and are seemingly bad are actually really, really brilliant things, are really, really good things. And I see that in a way, I really feel like there's a soul family on its way to you for group number 1. Because with the 11th house and the Saturn, and I don't know why, but this card keeps making me think of a soul family, because they're both kind of looking at the moon here, and they're both kind of it's almost like they're both engrossed by the moon. They're both looking at the moon. Like-minded people is what's coming through. So there's a blessing coming in, that there's a lot of like-minded people, like people that are very alike to you in energy, but maybe very different people in terms of like their life experiences. Like the energy that you are going to share with these people is going to be very, very similar. You're going to feel really accepted. You're going to feel really understood. But I'm also getting that you're going to come from different kind of walks of life. I feel like you could be getting to know these people through social media. That's something that's coming through as well with the Two of Wands. I always think of the social media. She's holding a phone here, and in the traditional Two of Wands in the Rider-Waite deck, the king is holding the world, and I always think like social media with this card. So I feel like you might be getting to know a lot of people who are very like-minded over social media. But I think you're in the gray area right now. You're in this kind of almost liminal space where nothing really makes sense, but it's not meant to make sense. And I feel like that's what your guides, I feel like you're somebody who wants the truth. You're somebody who likes order. You're somebody who likes maybe a certain amount of planning. You're somebody who likes to set goals for yourself. You're somebody who wants to know where they stand with people in your life. When you set a plan, you want to know how it's going to progress. And I feel like that's not something that you're getting right now. And I think your guides are trying to express that the reason that you're not getting these kind of elements in your life right now is because you're meant to kind of sit with this liminal space. You're meant to sit with this gray area. You're meant to embrace this gray area and see what it has to teach you. They're wanting you to lean into the idea of, I don't really know what's going to happen, and I don't know why things around me are kind of like falling away, but I'm just going to trust these things falling away anyway. Because with the 10 of Wands here being in reverse, it really feels like things are kind of peeling back. I'm almost getting like she's dropping these wands, and she's dropping these wands in order to walk away to something better. But it's just not quite the time for you to walk away from it yet. And that's why maybe things are a little bit confusing. For some of you, I wouldn't be surprised if you're going through a Saturn return or something like that. Because a lot of the time, Saturn return, when it comes around, it does take things that do not serve us away from us. So that could be something that you're going through right now, or maybe you're in the shadow period before Saturn return. But wherever you are right now, it does not matter. I see that whatever seems to be, it doesn't necessarily feel like a tower moment. I don't think you're in a tower moment kind of situation. This group really feels like you're more in a gray area. It's kind of like you're not entirely sure where you're going. You're not entirely sure what you want to do and what you want to achieve. And I feel like it's bothering you quite a lot. But the blessing in this is that you're not meant to, it's almost like the things that you are meant to achieve are just going to show up and show themselves to you. You're not going to have to like research and, search and be this kind of go-getter after these goals and after these achievements. And I feel like that's where your guides are kind of trying to come in and say, this gray area is good, because this gray area will allow you to see that in the future, when things don't make sense, you can still trust it. I think the big blessing that you don't realize is coming is a much better social circle. I'm not saying that the friends that you have or the social circle that you have currently is not good, but I feel like maybe you've been missing that kind of understanding, or you've been feeling lonely in group settings, you've been feeling lonely in social settings, or maybe around the friends that you do have, you've been feeling lonely or maybe even misunderstood. And I feel like your guides really want you to know that the blessing that's behind the scenes, and it's not obvious because it's not obvious because you're going through a big transformation when it comes to inner circle. When it comes to inner circle and the people that you hang out with, you're not resonating with them anymore, and so it's making you feel even more lonely, and it's making you feel like you don't have any friends. But in reality, this is all peeling away to make space for people that you do resonate with, or opinions that you do resonate with. And it doesn't mean that the people that are around you right now are like bad or evil or ignorant or anything like that. There's just something about the energies that are not they're not gelling. They're not gelling quite as easily as you would like. I'm gonna pull more tarot cards. There's something that I heard. It was like no direction is also a direction. So not having a, it's kind of like you're moving. Imagine if there was a map, and you had a map and you were moving along the map, and you had this navigation system that you were using, and all of a sudden the map went blank. And so you didn't know where you were going anymore. So you didn't know where the direction was, but you could still move around the map, even though it's blank. And then the map reappears again. I hope I'm explaining it right. It's the visual that they gave me. It was almost like you were moving on a map. And it's almost like a GPS system or something like that. And all of a sudden, the map went blank. The GPS broke. And the screen, or the paper map, it just completely became blank. Nothing. Complete nothingness. And so you feel confused and you don't really know where you're going, and you don't have a compass, but you still decide to keep moving through the map even if it's blank. At the end of the day, you're still going to reach some sort of destination. Maybe it's not necessarily going to be the destination that you thought you were going to reach at the start, but just because the map or if you were driving a car and GPS went blank, just because you don't have that navigation system showing you where you're going, if you took roads and kind of blindly followed the roads in front of you rather than following a GPS, that does not mean that you were stagnant. You still made moves and you still ended up in some sort of destination. So I feel like it's almost like the gray area. Your map had to go blank in order for you to go somewhere new and to push your boundaries. That's what I'm getting. I feel like the blessing here is that because you're in a gray area right now, you're able to take that gray area and turn it into something new. Because if you always knew where you were going, you would go somewhere where it's almost like you would have been predictable. If you always knew where you were going, if you always knew the next turn that you were going to take, and you could have said like, okay, I'm starting, let's say you started a journey and you said, I want to start at I'm starting from this road and I'm gonna go towards the museum. But the universe wanted you to explore other things. There's a museum, but there's also a gallery, and there's also a park, and there's also a beach. But you really wanted to go to the museum. And you didn't want to experience any of the other things because you didn't even think about experiencing them, because you were like, I'm going to the museum. And so the universe kind of broke your GPS with a direct route to the museum, so that maybe you could get lost and in the process maybe visit the gallery and also stop off at the beach and also stop off at the park. And even though you were lost, you got to experience other things that otherwise you wouldn't have if you had all the directions. That's the energy that I'm getting here. But I feel like it's directly related to social situations, to groups of people, to communities. So, it could relate to maybe even picking a degree or something like that, or a course where you end up meeting people. So explore the gray area. Don't be afraid of the gray area. Your energy will be renewed. I feel like that's what your guides are trying to say. They're saying your energy will be renewed. You don't have to worry about your energy not picking up again, because it will. But you need to kind of allow the gray area to be your teacher as well. To the liminal spaces to be your teacher. The wheel of fortune will turn. It will turn and it will... Oh, sorry, I dropped a card. The wheel will turn and you will see why you had to have this gray area happen to you. But the interesting thing here, I always find with the 8 of Cups, I always see this as, the way the man is walking away, and that's in the Rider-Waite. We do have the man walking away from the 8 cups. But what I think is interesting is that he left all these cups behind, and there's a woman that comes in and she finds these cups. So it's that kind of thing of maybe certain things that you feel are not for you does not mean that they don't have value. It's just maybe that you don't see the value in them. So the gray area, or the gray kind of like space, is meant to show you that the things that maybe how do I, because I feel like I can see it in my head very clearly, but it's really hard to explain. So let's get the analogy of the GPS, and you were going to the museum. Because you were going to the museum and you only wanted to see the museum, you didn't see the value in the beach or the park or the gallery. And it's only when you... But okay, how am I going to put this? This is so hard to put. You didn't see the value because you never saw them. But in getting lost, you got to see, if that makes sense. So in a way, so let's just put this as plainly as possible now, for the blessing behind the scenes and what's working out behind the scenes. I feel like there's a big lesson playing out that don't knock it till you try it kind of thing. And I feel like for a lot of you, the don't knock it till you try it is because you are someone who knows what you want. You have a certain plan for yourself. And your guides are kind of saying, look, the plans are great and it's good to have plans and it's good to be prepared. But sometimes we can get so blinded by our plan and where we're going that we forget to try the things that maybe don't necessarily resonate with us in that kind of way, and maybe we knock a lot of things before we try them. And I feel like that's what you're being taught right now in this gray area. But what's going to happen is you're going to alchemize this gray area into something very useful. So things that maybe are happening to you right now that seem useful or useless. See, I said useful, but it's useless, seem useless, but they're useful. Things that may seem useless, things that may seem like they're, they're worthy of being discarded, could actually end up being crucial cornerstones of your future successes and your future achievements. And I think that's what the lesson is and the blessing is. The gray area, the gray space that you're in right now, the liminal space that you're in right now, it's a blessing. And I know maybe it's a little bit annoying to hear, but I feel like your guides are really, really adamant that you will see the value in it very soon. And I feel like mostly you're going to see the value of it through a community of people or personal interactions, potentially even networking. But yeah, that's what I got for you, group one. This was a bit more, I found this quite a complicated reading to even explain. I hope this resonated. Let me know if it resonated. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, do subscribe and comment. I'd love to hear your feedback on this reading. And I'm going to move on. So we're going to move on to group two and see. Group one was really complicated for me to explain. It almost kind of broke my brain, honestly. So let's hope group two is going to be a little bit more simple. But let's see, what are the blessings behind the scenes that maybe you can't see? What's coming in? What's important to note that's behind the scenes? We've got Pisces, I believe, and we've got Thief. And we've also got Horse Spirit. I'm also going to pull the tarot cards straight away as well. There's something about huge inner abundance that you hold within yourself that you're not aware of. Yeah, I feel like a lot of you in this group don't realize that behind the scenes, what's really happening right now is you're fostering a lot of your natural emotional abundance. I kind of get, you always feel like you need to copy something. And I'm not saying that you copy other people or anything like that. That's not what I'm getting. But maybe you often feel like the original thing that you have to present is not good enough, and that you may be someone who is an artist or something like that, or a musician. You don't have to be. This is just examples. And you write a piece of music or you paint a picture, and you realize that it's very different to what people are used to. It's very different to what people are expecting from artists or musicians right now. And your guides are almost always having to come in and kind of try and show you that you don't need to fit into the mold. It's like you're ahead of your time. And I feel like that's the reason that this blessing is behind the scenes, is because you cannot see that you are ahead of your time. You have some ideas, and maybe some of you, it could be like business ideas as well. And I feel like your guides are really wanting to come through and say, you are ahead of your time. And what you're doing is you're constantly trying to, it's like let's say, when I'm recording this, it's 2021. You could be watching it whenever, I don't know. But, it's like we're in that meme where it's like, we're in 2021, they're in, they're in 20, I don't know, 2055 or something like that. That's the kind of energy that I'm getting here. It's like a lot of the things and a lot of innovative ideas that you do hold, and maybe even opinions that you hold, are they may seem very different, they may seem almost out of place, but don't lose that essence, and don't lose those ideas just because people are not ready to understand them yet. There's a lot of things that you have to present. There's a lot of conversations that you are able to start that people are simply not ready for yet. I'm really struggling speaking today. I wonder what that is. We've got the 10 of Swords in reverse, and we've also got, wow, the Hanged One and the Wheel of Fortune. But can I just say, there's so much Pisces energy here. Water energy in general, but so much Pisces energy. So a lot of you could be very, very wise beyond your years, and a lot of the wisdom that you hold is just not ready to be heard yet. I'm kind of getting this strong message of, you're the type of people where maybe you're always saying something and you're kind of trying to express your opinion, or you're trying to bring something out into the world, and people kind of dismiss it or don't understand it, and you feel kind of strange or weird for it. And then someone else that you maybe shared that idea or that opinion with comes back to you, almost trying to sell that opinion or idea to you as if it was their own. I feel like a lot of people copy you in this kind of way. Stand by your opinions, because I feel like sometimes you say something very profound. I feel like you could be really good like philosophers or writers, or you could make really good content about something. Like, you have a lot of wisdom. You have almost like centuries of wisdom. That's what I'm getting. And that wisdom makes you feel like it's a curse a lot of the time, because it's very often misunderstood. But I'm almost getting like, this is kind of intense energy, because it's like prophecy and wisdom, and And it's not in that kind of way that you're like, oh, I know things are going to happen, as in like events. It's not like you're the kind of person that knew like that COVID was going to happen or anything like that. But the trajectories that the world goes in, and the way that the society is going to change, that's what you see. You see that way before it happens. You can feel it, you can sense it. You're probably extremely psychic. I mean, with all this Pisces energy, I wouldn't be surprised if you were. Some of you could be life path 33, and life path 33, it's a master number, and it's a number of communication and being able to communicate really complex philosophical ideas and concepts with this ease and wisdom. But I feel like you are very used to people knocking you down for it. You're very used to people dismissing these opinions and dismissing these ideas. So you just have to keep going. Like, honestly, I feel like your guides are saying just keep going, because you're going to see that these, prophecies or this wisdom that you spit is really, really integral to who you are, and you have the right to express it. I feel like a lot of people try to silence you because they feel afraid of how in touch you are with the progress that we make as a society. People get really scared of your wisdom, and I feel like you're a really peaceful person. And people are always, there's something that is almost like you're free and nobody can tame you, but you never ever stick your nose in other people's business. It's kind of like you always say the truth and you're always authentic, and it scares people so much that they try to like contain you. I feel like this group has been knocked down a lot by a lot of people. And a lot of people wanted to see your downfall in some sort of way. You know, it could have been as simple as like places you worked, or, you know, in school or whatever like that. Because you don't exactly fit into a mold, and you're very free and kind of almost wild, but you're not forceful with anyone. You let I'm getting a lot of Sagittarius energy here as well with the Wheel of Fortune and the Horse Spirit. So we've got Pisces and Sagittarius energy represented here. And I feel like your guides are trying to explain that this wisdom that you hold and this knowledge that you hold, that sometimes you might even find it really hard to explain. It is so powerful that you don't even realize. And a lot of the time, this wisdom feels like a burden, but it's actually a blessing. And I feel like behind the scenes, I feel like this group will like write a book one day or something like that, or have some sort of, you know, I don't know, make a movie or make a documentary or something like that, where you're able to really pinpoint your philosophies and your ideas. You could create a course, you could be a teacher on something, but I really feel like this group is someone who gives love quite unconditionally. And that also scares a lot of people. You give love really unconditionally. You're able to show, sheds a light on potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. I feel like that's kind of like I hope I'm making sense, but I feel like sheds light on potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. You have a wealth within you that can never be stolen, and that scares the shit out of some people. You have something that can never, like, you have an essence, you have an energy, you have the potential that another person could never steal away from you. That another person couldn't even come close to taking from you, because it's uniquely yours. And everyone's uniquely them, right? But I feel like you give yourself permission to be uniquely yourself. And that's something that a lot of people don't allow themselves to be. And I feel like you're getting some sort of success in the future. Right now it's behind the scenes, and right now it might even feel daunting or scary. But I feel like down the line in the future, you're getting some sort of success and reward for being uniquely yourself. And you're going to see that what you achieve with this is going to be beautiful. Your guides are really just saying, don't dim yourself for anyone. And don't pretend like you don't hold the opinions that you do hold. You know, you don't have to water yourself down, or water down your expectations, or water down your philosophies. Like, if you have a philosophy on something, if you have an idea about something, you know, you might have very radical ideas that people might find them very hard to grasp. But I feel like it's that kind of thing of like, right now they can't grasp them, but in like 15 years time, people will be able to grasp them very easily. So just keep that in mind. You're before your time. That's the energy that I'm getting here for this group. You're before your time, and right now it might feel like a burden, but you will see in the next few years, and I wouldn't even be surprised if it takes a bit longer. You know, it could take 5, 10, 15 years, but over the course of those years, you're going to start seeing that it's actually something that is really aiding you. I feel like you're really, really, really psychic, group 2. And I maybe you are. Maybe you're somebody who reads tarot, or maybe you're someone who's aware that you're very, very psychic and you're able to predict a lot of things. But hold on to that. You don't have to dim that, you know. I just keep getting like, I called it. So you might be able to call a lot of situations, or a lot of you're able to call how things are going to turn out a lot of the time, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's kind of like you're able to highlight things that people don't want to accept because they'd rather stay in a comfort zone of some kind as well. Got 3 of Wands and the 6 of Wands. For a lot of you, you might be very well known for something like this. You might be very well known for these prophecies, or these, you might have a really far-sighted way of seeing a certain subject. You know, you could see psychology, you could see a way that, if you're somebody who studies psychology and you see flaws in the way that psychology is studied today, you could be someone who brings that kind of revolution into psychology and revolutionizes psychology. If you're somebody who studies languages, maybe you're going to be able to revolutionize the way that we learn languages, because you see flaws in systems that maybe we were systems or patterns that we've been programmed to accept as is, and you call them out. And I feel like a lot of the time, people who don't want to be pulled out of that kind of comfort knock you down. But this kind of foresight, this can never be stolen from you. This is like a gift of some sort, a skill of some sort that you fostered within yourself and you didn't shy away from, but maybe potentially sometimes you did shy away from it. And I feel like your guides are just kind of nudging you towards that idea of like, don't shy away from this. Call it how you see it. It's a blessing behind the scenes, even if it takes another few years for for the universe to prove it to you. But this is the reading that I got for you. Really interesting. The readings that are coming through are really kind of intense today. So let me know if that resonated. I don't know if it did, but if you liked it, do subscribe and comment. I'd love to hear some feedback on this, and I'm going to move on. So we're going to move on to group 3 and see what is the hidden blessing, behind the scenes blessing, what is going on, what's coming through for you. 6th house, routine, martyr, and grasshopper spirit. Something that is really hard right now, something that feels like it's a lot of work, and I'm kind of getting thankless work, maybe something that seems and we've got 2 30s. That's interesting. So maybe look up 3030. I don't know if that's something, or maybe your life path number 3. And this is group number 3 actually, which is interesting. Maybe look up 333 as an angel number. I'm not great with angel numbers, but just a lot of 3s repeating. 33, 333, or 3030 could be also something to look up. But I feel like something that might feel like thankless work right now could be paying off in the future. And this thankless work actually has there's a lot of thanks to be earned. That's what I'm getting. Okay, let's pull some tarot cards to see what this is in. What is this referring to? Okay, we've got the Chariot card in reverse, first of all. We've got the 4 of Cups. Yeah, something that feels thankless, something that feels like it's just something you're really, I feel like a lot of you are in this really dull energy right now. You might be in a bit of a stifled mood. There's a little bit of exhaustion, a little bit of tiredness, a little bit of kind of feeling like something you're doing, you're just doing it, like going through the motions is what I'm hearing. I'm just going through the motions. I feel like the reason that you're stuck in a loop is because your guides are, in a way, yes, whatever it is that you're stuck in right now is this kind of stuck, dull energy. I don't think you're going to be stuck in it forever, but the reason that you're not going to be stuck in it forever is because you're going to break out of it into something new. I feel like you have pinpointed something as not being for you a long time ago, and you haven't made a move on going for something that is for you. And I feel like your guides are saying, look, the only way out of this loop is to break the loop. It's like a road that you keep repeating. It could be a job that you keep waiting for something to change and it never changes. It could be a relationship, it could be a friendship where you're repeating the same motions and it's never ever changing. You're kind of expecting a change, you're hoping that it will change, but it's just never presenting itself like that. And I feel like your guides are saying, look, you have the power to break this loop. If you really want to get out of it, you can do it. And what's going on behind the scenes? I kind of feel like there's a lot of support behind the scenes, even if you may not realize it. There's a lot of support behind the scenes. Yeah, I kind of feel with the Fool card being in reverse, it's almost like they're saying, look, we've been here before, we've been through the motions before, and nothing has changed. Do you want to go through another loop? Do you want to go through another cycle of this? Or are you ready to break the chain? And they're kind of saying, we're not going to break the chain for you, because there's a big lesson here for you to be breaking the chain from your perspective, and not an external kind of a divine intervention. So I feel like what the guides are saying behind the scenes, what's happening is they're creating structures and they're creating support for you to break out of this pattern. But they're being very, very firm on the fact that you're going to have to break the pattern. It's not going to be a divine intervention. The universe is not going to step in right now. Because there is a lesson to be learned in you breaking out, showing yourself that you can break out and take a leap. Take a leap of faith, because we've got the leap of faith here with the grasshopper, and I'm just really being attracted to the way that this figure is jumping. And then we've also got the Fool here, and he's literally fallen off the cliff. He's jumped off the cliff. So I feel like your guides are saying, it's time to take a leap of faith here and start a new journey. For a lot of you, I feel like for a lot of you, your guides want you to do some. I feel like there might be, like, let's say a job or a new path that you really want to take, but you're not sure that that path is going to serve you, but you're being called to it. It's like you already made the choice. There's something like on an energetic level, you already made the choice to change something, but you just haven't done it in your physical space. It's kind of like you're sitting back and you haven't done it in your physical space. In your dreams, in your subconscious mind, in your, fantasies, when you fantasize about something, you've already made the choice. You've already quit that job. You've already left that relationship. You've already left that friendship. But in the physical 3D space, you still haven't done it. I'm also getting, for some of you, maybe you're even having dreams of like leaving the job or leaving the relationship, whatever this is. It feels like leaving something that maybe acted as a structure or a safety space before, and it's not able. It's still a safety space for you. It's still something safe and secure, but it's not something that's feeding your soul anymore. It's not something that's resonating with you anymore. And your guides are saying, look, behind the scenes, the blessing that we're preparing for you is that once you do take that leap of faith, you will be caught. You're going to hold on. You'll be able to balance yourself. You're not going to be just plummeting to death, basically. You're going to be shown that by taking a leap of faith, you are rewarded. You're not punished for it. There's going to be a reward for taking a leap of faith. And that's the behind the scenes blessing that you're not seeing right now. But the reason you're not seeing it right now is because you haven't taken that leap of faith. It's kind of like they're saying, until you take that leap of faith, we can't show you that reward, because the whole point of this reward is that you understand that the leap of faith was needed. By going around in the same cycle, you're blocking yourself off from blessings right now. And I know it's easier said than done, especially if it's like a job or something like that. Leaving a job can be really, really tiring and can be really, really exhausting. And especially if you don't have another job lined up, or you don't really know if the other job is going to be good enough for you. But sometimes you just have to trust. And I feel like your guides are saying you've already made your choice. It's like, it's not even that you haven't made a choice to leave this relationship or to leave this job. You know, for some of you, maybe there's like a marriage involved, and it's like you have to leave the marriage because you know you're just going through the same cycles over and over again. Nothing's changing, nothing has direction, you're just in the same space. Some of you could even feel rejected in a relationship or a marriage situation, and you know you're going to continue feeling rejected or disappointed in some sort of way, and you've already made the decision that at some point I'm going to leave. It's like this feeling of like, at some point I'm going to leave, you know, or in a job, you could have already decided like, at some point I'm just going to leave this job. I just don't know when. I just don't know what way is safest. And I feel like your guides are like, you're just, with this one, you're just going to have to take a leap of faith. You're going to have to, you know, jump off that cliff and let us catch you. Basically, let us catch you. And then we're going to bring in all the blessings that we're accumulating for you currently. You know, for example, if you leave that job, it could be even like in a different area of life, things start pouring in. So for example, if you decide to leave the job and get a new job, all of a sudden your love life becomes better because the stress of the job is gone, you know. Or maybe if you leave that relationship or marriage, all of a sudden your job starts doing much better. You know, maybe you start earning more money. And so you're going to get blessings that don't even have to do with that specific theme that you're trying to break out of, that specific cycle that you're trying to break out of. But I keep hearing you've already made your choice. You just need to take the leap of faith now. That seems to be the main kind of push from behind the scenes. I'm almost getting an energy of like even the future you is almost coming through and saying, you know, you're going to see that you were always going to get caught in the process. No matter how high the cliff that you jumped off, you know, metaphorically, your guides were always going to pick you up. Your guides were always going to catch you. I'm also getting like dream bigger. So for a lot of you, maybe the reason that you have to take this leap of faith is because maybe you're in a job where you're not dreaming big enough, where you're not seeing yourself as someone great, as someone who could achieve a lot more than what you're trying to or achieving right now. You might be seeing yourself as a, for some reason, I'm almost getting that underachiever kind of vibe, like. And it doesn't have to be only in a job. Like you could be in a relationship where you feel like, oh, well, this is what I deserve. This kind of person and this kind of treatment is what I deserve. And so I stay with them. But your guides are saying like, you deserve so much better. You're underachieving in your relationships or friendships. You know, that you could have friends that really undermine you, that don't treat you with respect. And because you believe that you deserve it, you're basically not grasping that you deserve a lot more. It could have to do with low self-esteem or problems with your own self-esteem and what you deem as deserving or what you deem yourself deserving of. And I feel like your guides are really wanting to show you that if you take a leap of faith, you're going to see that you actually deserve a lot more than what you have right now. And the blessing is that you're going to get things that are of a higher standard and higher quality for you. And not just in the area where you're struggling with this stuck feeling, but in other areas of your life as well. So that's the reading that I got for you, group 3. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, do like, subscribe, and comment. I'd love to hear your feedback for this one. Now, this one was very straightforward compared to 1 and 2. I felt like they were a little bit more complicated. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I'll talk to you soon. And I'm going to move on to group 4. Let's see what's going on behind the scenes. What blessings are coming in? What can you expect? We've got Uranus, Night, and we've got Beaver Spirit. Foundation. A unique foundation for some reason is coming through. Committing to something. There's a really, really strong energy of committing to something. Even though it may feel unconventional or weird or a little bit out there. Maybe there's something that you are trying to decide on. Maybe there's something like a lifestyle or something, or a way of working, a relationship that maybe feels a little bit unconventional or unexpected for you, that your guides are saying committing to it is going to really bring you a lot of wealth. And wealth, I don't just mean in terms of money. I mean just like an abundance in general, energetic abundance. Just because things are weird or unconventional does not mean that they don't deserve commitment. And I think you know that anyway. I don't think your guides are like berating you for that or anything like that. I think you actually know this. But I feel like behind the scenes, something very unique is growing. And it's only in the beginning stages of growth. That is one thing that I see. It's only at the beginning stages of growth, but it's something very beautiful, very unique, very different. For a lot of you, for some reason, I'm getting it could be a business, or it could be like maybe you're getting into a career that is not very recognized yet, or you might be getting into a career that maybe doesn't even exist yet. And so things might be a little bit confusing and feel a little bit out there. I keep hearing, I'm a little bit out there. This is a little bit out there, but I want to commit to it. So I feel like behind the scenes, something that you're committing to, even though it's a little bit out there, is going to bring you a lot of joy and a lot of abundance. So let's pull some tarot cards for you. Loyalty and choosing to commit seems to be kind of like the choosing to commit to something. Okay, we've got the Nine of Pentacles. I want to read this upright with the Queen of Wands. I don't know why I heard that straight away, upright. I feel like for a lot of you, it could be like a business, starting a business or starting a type of career. For some of you, this could even be teaching people something that is a little bit out there or a little bit different. And maybe there's even like a worry that you'll be misunderstood for doing it. This seems very career heavy for me for group 4. Very career heavy. I feel like this is another one of my business indicators, like having a business of your own. For some of you, you may feel like the type of business that you want to start is a little bit out there, or the type of career that you want to start is a little bit out there, or a type of teaching that you want to do is a little bit out there, but it really speaks to your soul. It really speaks to who you are as a person. A lot of wands here. So I feel like you have a lot of passion for something here. And I feel like behind the scenes, even though I kind of feel like for a lot of you, maybe you don't even know how it's going to happen. You don't really know. Again, I feel like for a lot of you, this is in beginning stages. It may just be like a page in your journal where you have brainstormed it. For others of you, maybe you are already starting it. Maybe you're kind of like thinking up a design for your website or something like that, but it's not something that's fully fledged yet. And I keep hearing it's a little bit out there, but I feel like it could work, and I think it will work. I think this is something you could earn really good money with. It's unique, it's interesting and captivating. And I think a lot of people will be interested to see what this business does. I'm even hearing investors. So you might be able to find a lot of investors that want to put their money into this business because of the unique idea that it encapsulates. But I keep getting, but you have to stick to this. So it's not going to be like an easy road. With the Nine of Wands in reverse, I feel like this is going to be the type of business or career or endeavor, project, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be something that needs commitment, like serious commitment, because you're going to see people also kind of judging this business as well, or job, career. I'm going to kind of like try and say, you're going to see people that don't understand it. You're going to see people that do put it down. But you have to, I'm just getting, you have to stick with it. Sticking with it is going to be the main thing. Yeah, I feel like there are going to be people that are going to try and undermine this business or this job. But just because people don't understand it does not mean you have to give up. That's what I'm getting. And I feel like maybe this is something you're going through right now. For a lot of you, I wouldn't be surprised if these are spiritual business. Wow, we've got the devil and we've got the hanged man in reverse. There's potential for this to be quite misunderstood by quite a lot of people. This job, this business, this whatever, this endeavor or project that you're starting. But for every person who is going to misunderstand it, there's going to be twice as many who are going to really be intrigued and interested in it. That's what I'm getting. And if you stick with it, you're going to see that. For every person who has something bad to say or some sort of, criticism to, put in their 2 cents, there's also twice as many that want to compliment it and want to know more about it. This feels almost like a divinely guided idea or message or project. It's like the seed was planted by your guides or something like that, and you were able to create it. You have the key to success with this, by the way. Like, I really feel for a lot of you, you have the key to success and to earning really good money with this. But I feel like the key is to, like, your commitment to this business project job is really going to be tested. And I think your guides really want to know that. I keep getting taboo. I'm getting taboo because we've also, with the devil, I just feel like there's a lot of the imagery is really interesting here. And I feel like a lot of what you're going to be doing is going to be seen as taboo. Not necessarily anything bad. Like, I just feel a lot of people will be, because it's so unique and so different, it may rub some people that are a little bit more traditional and a little bit more, I guess, people that don't like changes could find it rubs them the wrong way. But again, as I said, there's twice as many people who are very interested in it and want to know how you came about with the idea. And a lot of people that will want to know how you started. And don't worry about it too much, because I feel like your guides are coming through and saying you're only in the beginning stages. It's not fully fledged yet. You're allowed to make mistakes. There's something about allowing yourself to make mistakes, and every mistake that you make, yes, there will be people that will definitely notice those mistakes, but there's also going to be people on the other side that are going to watch you then consider those mistakes and change them into successes and applaud you for that. Don't let mistakes scare you. And I feel like with the hanged man, I'm almost getting here this woman kind of giving the hanged man water. It's almost like there's going to be people that will want to help you. For every person that wants to knock you down or talk shit behind your back for this project, this idea, this job, career, business, whatever it is that you're trying to fulfill, there's going to be someone who's going to want to help you. There's going to be someone who's going to want to network with you and offer you their services. There's going to be people that will want to maybe sponsor you. A sponsor is the word that I was looking for. Investors and sponsors. There's going to be people that are going to be so interested in what you're doing that they're going to want to have involvement with it. They're going to want to have involvement with you. They're going to want to have interactions with you, because people haven't quite seen what you're doing before. So there's something very unique here. For a lot of you, maybe you're considering a job in a field that is not exactly traditional, and you're worried that, people are not going to understand you. And honestly, yeah, I don't think a lot of people are going to understand you, but a lot of people also will understand you. So it's kind of like, maybe there will be a lot of people that kind of go, that's weird, you're going for that job, like what the hell. But there's also going to be people that are going to think, wow, that's so cool, tell me more about it. You might get surprised with who wants to help you and who wants to critique you as well. That's another thing that's coming through. But the main message here really is that whatever is coming out of this business, job, career, project, for some of you, maybe you're considering an out there degree or studies in something that maybe is considered a little bit taboo or non-traditional. And I feel like that could be another side of it, for those of you that are maybe considering like a college degree or a course. But I feel like down the line, you're going to be there's going to be proof that will show you that it was all worth it because of this Nine of Pentacles. And the High Priestess, it's kind of like you had a higher knowledge about this job or this business. Your intuition is leading you on the right path with this career choice business project. Again, apply it to, but I feel it doesn't feel like a relationship to me. It doesn't feel like something to do with an interpersonal relationship. This feels like a project or something to do with a way of earning money or a living situation. Not a living situation, but like earning your living. That's what I mean. I feel like in a lot of ways, you might end up being some sort of teacher as well, where you teach people how you achieved this success. And you might eventually teach people how you learned not to get down about people critiquing your personal choices. There's a really strong confidence that's coming through with this group. I feel like you are naturally quite confident people in group number 4, but I feel like this confidence is about to grow, and that's another blessing that's coming through behind the scenes with this. A spike in confidence, and this confidence is really, really mystical. There's something very mystical with this confidence, and it scares. I feel like it just scares a lot of people, and a lot of people might critique you because you're really intuitive, you're really confident, you're very different, you don't mind tapping into taboo. I wouldn't be surprised if some of you have some 8th house placements or 12th house placements. You don't mind tapping into those things. And a lot of people are afraid of tapping into those things. And so that can really evoke a lot of criticism. But I feel like there's some really good things in the form of confidence and even monetary rewards that are coming out on the other side of this. So just continue on. I feel like your guys are trying to don't be afraid. You're just in the beginning stages of this, though. I feel like you're not exactly in the thick of it yet. And so you're allowed to make mistakes. And making mistakes, if anything, is going to serve you. So that's what we've got for group number 4. I'm going to move on now. If you like this reading, do like, subscribe, and comment. Especially with your feedback. I'd love to hear what you have to say, how it resonated. And I'm going to move on. So we're going to move on to group number 5. Let's see what is going on behind the scenes and what blessings can you look forward to that maybe you can't see right now, and what you can't see right now. We've got Void of Course Moon, Queen, Rebel, and we've got the Bee Spirit. Sweet results await. Well, we've got Queen and Queen Bee. So I feel like maybe you don't quite realize how highly people view you. There's a lot of people that view you very highly. I feel like right now you're struggling to see that a lot of people see you as someone who is so different, but at the same time you're somebody who's very warm. A lot of people I'm just getting a really strong feeling that a lot of people see you as really warm and welcoming, but you don't take shit, that kind of way. A lot of people see you as very powerful. Very influential. I feel like maybe you don't see that a lot of people do see you as a great influence. You're someone who starts trends. You don't follow them. That's what I got. I literally just heard that in my head. You start trends. You don't follow them. A lot of, do you know what? It's really interesting because there's a lot of that energy in all the piles. Well, not all, but a couple of the piles today. This kind of standing your own ground and being uniquely you is something that's really standing out to me. And I feel like maybe a lot of people think, like a lot of these groups think that they're not impressive or just regular kind of characters, but I feel like a lot of the people who are getting this reading today don't realize how many people see them as very unique. Got the Ace of Wands in reverse. Six of Cups. Justice card. Yeah, I really feel like a lot of people see you as an authority, and I feel like maybe that's something that you don't realize. A lot of people see you, but not an authority in that kind of way, like I put down the law and everyone follows it. Like somebody who has a very good air of authority about them, but they're also somebody who is not going to be forceful or... who's not going to be forceful. This person's not going to be forceful. They're not going to be... there's a gentleness, but also this kind of... you demand respect, but you're also gentle. You're not somebody who... it's like respect, not fear. And I feel like what you're not realizing behind the scenes is that you're meant to be in a position of authority. You're meant to be someone who is a different type of authority than what people are used to. And I feel like that's what's coming in as a blessing. Maybe in your childhood, you were brought down a lot and you were made to feel like you had to follow authority. Maybe you had some problems with authority when you were younger. But I feel like maybe you were always made to feel like you couldn't possibly have autonomy and you couldn't possibly have some sort of... like, I feel like this group, you're meant to be authority figures, but not the kind of authority figures that are abusing their power. But you're meant to be the type of authority that works with the people. Like a manager who helps their workers rather than just bossing them around and putting them down. An authority figure who knows what the people have gone through. There's almost like it's that kind of feeling of you know what it's like, and that's why you make a really good authority figure. You're not somebody who gets to be an authority figure through like nepotism or some sort of easy route. You're somebody who gets to be an authority figure because you worked for it and you know exactly how the regular people feel, because you are the regular people. And so I feel like maybe it's been kind of like beaten out of you, like, in metaphorical sense, that it's been beaten out of you that you were, I feel like when you were born or when you were a child, you had this air of authority to you. You had this air of leadership to you, and you're a really natural leader. But I feel like it either you had parents who did not like that and wanted to make you obedient, or maybe authority figures in forms of teachers that wanted to make you be obedient because it's easier. And that leadership was kind of like beaten out of you in metaphorical sense, or I don't know, maybe real sense. But I feel like you're gathering that back behind the scenes. And I feel like that's what your guides are trying to say. You're gathering that courage and those leadership skills and that natural leadership that you possess. You are bringing it back to the foreground. But it's going to take some time. That's what I'm getting. But you're meant to be a leader of some kind. Like, you're meant to lead a group of people, a team of people. And you're not meant to be the type of leader that sits like, in their own office and just waits for everyone else to do the work. You're meant to be the type of leader that is in the mix, in there with everyone else. But the thing that makes you such a good leader is that you direct the situations very well. You come in and you help, rather than sit and berate the people for not doing a good enough job. If something is not working out, when you're a leader and you're looking over people, when something's not working out, you don't question the workers. You don't question, not necessarily workers, this could be leading, a community group or something like that. But I feel like you don't question the people. You question what am I not doing as a leader? I feel like that's what really singles you out as a really good leader and somebody who was born for leadership. You question, what can I do to create a better atmosphere? a better if you ever considered being some sort of like manager or director, or if you wanted to be a leader and you thought you would do a good job, you were right. And I feel like it's something that is worth reconsidering for you. You're a leader for the people, not for other leaders. We've got the High Priestess, Page of Swords, and the Two of Pentacles. You get results. You're somebody who gets results, but the way that you get results is not by, again, instilling fear in other people. You're somebody who helps, and especially with this card, like I'm getting a really strong, you know, the way the cup is being handed to this child, it's like you fill your own cup and you hand it down. You hand it down to people who need it. You don't just keep the cup in your like office again, or away from everybody else. You're really good at sharing. There's something about sharing. So maybe sharing credit, sharing power. If you are a leader, it does not mean you have all the power. So if you are in a leadership position, you're the type of person to distribute power very evenly between the people. And everyone has the power, but you are still the leader. You're somebody who directs that power, if that makes sense. Something is coming through that you're meant to be a leader of some kind, or maybe a boss of some kind. You're someone who is really good at inspiring people. You're somebody who gets results. And I feel like your guides are really wanting you to know that. I'm kind of getting that an old version of you is dying. Maybe an old version that was convinced that you weren't a leader. I'm also getting a lot of circular energy. I don't know why, I'm just getting a lot of kind of circles spinning around. Maybe it's letting me know the cycle is changing. The cycle of feeling like you are not leadership material is ending. And I think you're realizing that you are meant to be a leader of some kind. You're meant to be someone who inspires people and motivates people. You're a really good motivational speaker as well. That's something that's coming through. Something about your speech and the way that you're able to motivate people through words is really, really great. Because you say things, you don't say conventional things. You don't use like the motivation 101. You don't read books on like motivational speaking. You're somebody who just naturally, it comes so naturally to you. And you can pinpoint people's strengths so very well. So I feel like behind the scenes, what's happening is that you are starting to realize that you're meant to be some sort of leader. And I feel like you're going to be stepping into some sort of leadership role. For some reason, I'm getting in the next 3 months. For some reason, that's coming through. So for a lot of, again, this is a general reading. It could be a little bit longer for some of you, but I feel like 3 months is a good anchor kind of timeline that I'm going to stick to. 2 to 3 months. But for some of you, it could be a little bit longer. But I feel like what you're not seeing behind the scenes, and the blessing that you're not seeing, is that you are, I wouldn't say you're becoming a leader, because I feel like you were born to be a leader, but you're rediscovering those leadership qualities within yourself. And you're realizing that a lot of people look up to you and feel motivated by you. So that's what I got for you, group number 5. If you like this reading, do like, subscribe, and comment, especially with your feedback. I'd love to hear what you thought of the reading, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.